I'm really excited about this one today because holding space, I've talked about this in detail a couple of days ago, but this is holding space for others. So your kids, your partner, those are going to be the two biggest ones. Your best friends, your family, your parents. What is holding space for others? That is creating this space between this person's experience of you, another situation, the world, their own pain, and you, and your neutral ability to show up and let them have their experience without you interjecting your triggers or projecting your own experience or history or emotion into it. You literally are a witness to their moment. This is not an easy thing to do. Many people do not do this. They don't know how. We're not taught. We are not trained in this. This is like conflict resolution, blah, blah, blah. No, this is so much deeper. This is literally getting so much mental space and emotional space that you can allow someone to kind of get into your bubble without getting reactive, without making their experience about you say something or mean something about you. But you really can just watch how they're processing something you did or something they experienced in life. So the way this looks to hold space for someone else is to, first of all, just be able to kind of talk yourself prepare for it by saying like, okay, I'm just going to show up and I'm going to watch. I'm going to listen and I'm going to hear what they're saying and I'm going to hear what they're not saying. And I'm going to dig deeper into, and I'm not saying you need to sit there and analyze them, but you can hear when people talk about their triggers, you can hear their core need, right? Just like when you're triggered, there's a core need behind it, all right? And you've been practicing that, so now you're able to do it for other people. The more you practice it for yourself, the better you'll be able to hold space for other people. And know when you can hold space legitimately and when you cannot. If you have ever gone through a divorce or lost a person that you loved, whether through a breakup or through death or any other way, if you have ever experienced any emotional pain and you bring that to somebody else and they're like, oh, yeah, that must be really hard. Or if they switch it and say, I know, when I lost so-and-so, I felt this, and they go into their own experience. Those are people who are not able to hold space for you. We all have those people in our lives, and we are those people in other people's lives. So, with my very close friends, I have the ability and the wherewithal now to be able to say, I don't really have space for that, but I do want to hear you and I do want to have this conversation. I just need to get some more clarity in my own body, mind, heart, whatever, or I need to go and clear some space and take care of some stuff, neutralize myself before I can show up in a positive way for you and not get reactive in turn. So this is an art that is practiced. I cannot emphasize that enough. This takes practice. You will not do it well the first time. You will not do it well the first 10 times. There's always going to be more to learn and grow in, but it becomes really fun when two people are on the same page and you can have the dialogue of, hey, can you hold space for this? Give me 5 minutes. And you go and you do a mental check or you just clear whatever is on your mind or whatever, so you can just show up and be like, tell me what's up. Give it to me. Let me hear your experience. Here's the other thing about holding space for other people. You do not carry their stuff out of that space. It is not now yours because they were sharing it and you held space for them. No, that's not what that means. Again, you are a neutral witness. You're able to sit and say, this is yours. And I do this with my kids too. When they're like freaking out, angry, I say, do you want to be by yourself or do you want me to sit in here with you? And they'll say like, well, whatever you want. I'm like, okay, well, if you don't want to be alone, I'm okay sitting here. We don't have to talk. And I don't help them fix their feeling or explain why they're feeling that way. I used to. Good God, I used to. But then their therapist was like, just shh. I'm like, oh, okay. Hold space for them. So I just sit there and I let them, and I can validate. I can say, I hear that was really hard for you. This sounds like a really big emotion. It sounds like that really affected you deeply. I understand why you were hurt by that. Like things like that, right? That's validating, and you're seeing this person, you're letting them know they're not alone. You're witnessing their heart, and you're validating their exposure to you. And that's it. That's holding space for other people like that. And then usually what I do is I just thank them for letting me be part of their process. And then that's it. Because it is an honor to hold space for people. That is where they're the most vulnerable. And when you can go in there and not try to fix or change them or their situation, you are moving up the emotional intelligence escalator. I'll tell you what, that's some good relational shit right there. So hold space for yourself first, then see how you can do that for your loved ones. That is your challenge of the day. Hey, listen, this is going to be really difficult when you're in quarantine because other people's experience of you, it's not going to be pretty. You're not going to agree with it. That's not what holding space is about, though. Doesn't mean you agree. Doesn't mean it's your time to share. Now, if that's a mutual thing where you're doing a clearing and you're sitting there saying, I'm going to hold space for you, and then you hold space for me while I talk, that's cool. That's communicated. That's understood. But if it's just, can you hold space for me? And then you just kind of sit there and witness, then that's it. You're not thinking about what you're going to say. You're not thinking about your argument, your comebacks, your rebuttals. Nope. You're just watching and letting them have their process. And you're loving them in it. And you give them a hug. Thank you for sharing that with me. It means a lot to me that you trust me. And then you go on your way. And if you need them to hold space for you later, then you go there and you talk and you have that communication. So let me know how that one goes.